What's vigorous mean? Well, it means active, maybe eager. You can't be a learner without wanting to learn. And sometimes, maybe most of the time, we learn without being conscious of it. An awful lot of learning is from what we do, and that's the really vigorous part. And so you never stop learning. From the time you're born until the day you die, you're always learning something. And learning it in a very productive way, and maybe together, is what makes a great organization, a vigorous learning organization. What happens is that the disciplines they adopted to learn become the discipline of the organization. They're guided by that. Nobody has to tell them very much. And so what are the characteristics? Number one, mission driven. They have a mission. People are motivated by something other than the money. They would come to work every day to do what they do and not even take pay unless they needed it. That's real motivation. But associated with that is what motivates an organization. Is it capturing more market share? Is it making a profit? Is it helping people? Is it what? The mission has to be related to a social good that people can see and to helping preserve the earth. And now people are intrinsically motivated. Second, leadership for learning, or leadership of learning. Leader is not particularly an autocrat. The leader may be demanding. All the leaders may be demanding. If you don't expect a lot from people, you don't get a lot from people. And so leadership of learning is leadership of what we're describing as a vigorous learning organization. A third characteristic is systems thinking or systemic thinking. How far into the future do you see? How broadly across the world or the universe do you see? How do you see yourself relating to a lot of things elsewhere? And in particular, how do you see people relating to each other inside the organization, and how do they see themselves relating to each other? It's not all the little pieces and parts of a company that are all efficient and then somehow it gets all put together into a whole. That doesn't work very well, but we keep trying. Now, to do that, you need rigorous systems of learning. Rigorous would include methods that are based on, say, science. So you may not call it science. What you have is an idea, or scientists would call it a hypothesis, or a theory. What are those things? Well, this is how we think things work or ought to work. That's being open-minded. And that leads to real learning, and it leads to the kind of learning that not only improves the efficiency of, let's say, a company doing what they do, it leads them to reconsider why they do what they do and what their real role in the world is. The last part of this is behavior. Probably the key part, behavior for learning. So what's that? Well, one of the key parts is one of Dr. Deming's old 14 points, drive out fear. Meaning that the policies and the procedures and the approach of the organization do not make people fear if they're wrong. Another part of that is learning to dialogue. And there are rules of dialogue. But that means listen. A leader for learning listens. All the people involved learn to listen, because you don't learn very much with your mouth open or your mind closed. So learn to listen, learn to observe. And then can people coach or train each other? If they learn to do that, they're changing their behavior. and that's leadership for learning.